Hello everyone, and welcome to Barbie Horse Adventures Blue Ribbon Race for the Game Boy Advance. I mostly just know of the title screen of this, but it's sort of fascinating. Because it's just oddly haunting. We have to press start, we have to compete in 8 events to earn money for the horse charity. A simple goal, just some games, riding a horse, clouds going into the distance as if a tornado is happening nearby. Wait long enough and you can even see the name of the game arrive. We'll see if it's good. I genuinely have no idea. I've only played so many Game Boy Advance games and this was not one of them. But again, this title screen is incredible. Anyway. Let's move on. From the start, we can choose what we look like and what horse looks like, roughly. We can pick between a variety of outfits, of which I'm just gonna go with this one. We could go for this one, though. I do kind of like that one. It's got that classic look, but let's just stick with this for now. So, a variety of legs, very nice. Pick a Barbie, pick a horse. The color that we're picking today is that one, the mane. Obviously, that one, and markings, you can't go wrong. And from this point on, we have reached the point where I have stopped testing this game, roughly. Find all 10 flowers hidden in the village, put the flowers in the vases by the castle, search the park near the shops in town. Either way, I think this game's like an hour or two long at most, and we're just gonna chill with our horse ride around. We got movement, we got a run button, we have a jump button. And let's just go get some flowers. It's just nice to have a game where we can have a very clearly defined goal from the get-go. Ride around on a horse a little bit. We can maybe jump over fences. I have more or less only tested that this game works and not much else, so hopefully we're not gonna run into much difficulty trying to beat this game. Our horse doesn't really jump that high, so fences are maybe out of the question. Doors, unlikely, but maybe if we try hard enough we can just sort of clip through this building and reach a whole new free range of horse lands. But I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Instead, grab a flower. Look at that. Metal Gear Solid exclamation mark appearing that we have to— oh, cow! Okay, now we are truly getting to the point where things are going to surprise me. Look at that. Look at that cow. It's kind of hidden behind the UI, unfortunately, but I want to see his face, because it looks— there's only so many frames to look at this cow. Look at that. Is it a cow? Is it a donkey? Hard to tell. The Game Boy Advance was— it had a rough time showing things at times, and 90% of the games were isometric, but they were doing their best with what they had, and it had some great games, among which this one. Is there a sheep there? Look at that. A sheep, a tractor, and the next area, a phone booth for horses, obviously. If we can just jump into this phone booth, we can create a shot-for-shot remake of the movie Phone Booth. It has slightly different vibes as opposed to Barbie Horse Adventures Blue Ribbon Race, but I think we could probably do a decent job. Every time we pick up a flower, it's another reminder that we have to put them in the flower pots near the castle. And I will ignore those warnings to just have a nice little rind around on my horse instead, because quite frankly, it's just nice. It's just nice to know. It's just really nice to know for just like a full hour what the day's gonna bring, you know, and that is— we're just gonna ride that high. We're gonna ride the high of Barbie. There's humans. Some of them look different to one another. Let's briefly greet them before we go on our way. They're applauding our efforts. Very nice. The horse is pleased by this endeavor. The signs are all pointing to the castle, but I am still very much in exploration mode, trying to figure out where are all those heckin' flowers that we have to collect. I think it said 10 flowers, right? So we're getting there. We're making progress. There is a lot of buildings, and I do wonder if at any point we can dismount our horse and talk to the residents, but I somehow feel like this is going to be a mostly horse-based game. And only one way to find out, of course. I guess that's where the castle is. I'm still missing the flower, though. But we have gone, I assume, in a circle at this point. Is the phone booth here? Yeah, alright. Well, 9 flowers is a pretty good haul either way. Given that we are effectively doing drive-bys to pick these flowers up. Oh, there's a 10 flower right there. Alright, turn around. There you go. We already placed 2 of them in a pot. The people are here to cheer us on for collecting the flowers. We cannot get that close to them. And also my horse is kind of struggling to either be in front or behind the human. But that's, you know, that's a struggle for all horses, ultimately. Z fighting is what they are known for. That's why no one ride horses with a Z. Level complete. Look at that. We are thriving. Hey, we can actually get out of the horse sometimes. I can't move myself, but this other person... This is a quality dialogue system. They're happy that I'm playing a Game Boy Advance game, and as such, we're getting a mini-game for our efforts. We get... ooh, that's 8 coins, I guess. We get sponsored some new horses. Our password is J, 6 question marks, and 2 B's. I need to... Like, there is a continue game button, and it is just a password system as well, which is sort of incredible. I haven't seen one of these in a while, but also... Many letters just don't exist. Like, for some reason, the A is not there. You'd expect one of the passwords to have the word Barbie in it, but maybe I'm just overthinking this. I don't know. We got all the coins in Primrose Hill Village, so quite frankly, I can't complain. Toss the horseshoes onto the pegs in the shortest amount of time. 1 player. Oh, I can only... Oh, no, wait. Easy or hard? Well, I'm feeling confident. Oh, good. We're getting the main theme. Everything about this looks like there's a ghost inside, but I guess we just do like this. Yellow. Yeah, alright. You think I don't know how to throw horseshoe? Okay, you are correct. There we go. Alright, I'm figuring out. You just need to get your power right. But once you do, you can truly progress in the game as a champion of horseshoe throw. Barbie's head silently looks at us as we throw every horseshoe. Are we Barbie, or is it Barbie playing? I think she blinks on occasion, but mostly it's an unending stare. And that's fine. It gives you an idea of the vibe they're going for, and I appreciate that. I will say, though, I'm having more difficulty with horseshoe than I would have originally expected. I think I saw her blink once, but it is kind of tricky to look at Barbie's face while trying to play this at the same time. But I'm also kind of curious how long this song goes for, because if you stay in the title screen long enough, eventually it just goes to a demo where it shows you how to play the game. And I didn't look at that, but I would assume either there's going to be awkward silence or we're just going to enjoy this haunting melody for a while longer. We have reached the red zone. And even now, we are thriving. I don't know if there's anything you actually get for doing this, or if it's just a lot of fun. But so far, it certainly is one of those 2. Round 4, only 3, but we still get a minute and a half. This game is underestimating our potential. And quite frankly, I'm furious about this. If the game truly respected me... Oh god, when she blinks, her whole head moves. It's quite... Again, it's tricky to look at her and the thing, but at the same time, it's sort of fascinating with the music. Her blinking is very visceral. I think that's the best description I can give for it. It's a very visceral blink. And quite frankly, it worries me. You'd think that a world champion horseshoe thrower wouldn't struggle this much, seeing as the previous round was largely the same, but I've fallen off. I can't pretend to be the horseshoeing champion that I've been all my life, but as you can see, it's all falling apart. But we're getting there. I'm curious I am curious if this is just an infinite amount, though. I feel like they have sort of deliberately placed some of these, but there is certainly the potential that this can just go on forever. And I'm concerned. But at the same time, maybe there's going to be like a golden horseshoe at the end of this for doing so well in Horseshoe the minigame, so I can't exactly just stop. Game over. Alright, well that works. Yeah, that's it. Alright, fair enough. Let's race. On to Primrose Hill Farm. It's different. It's legally distinct. Very good. Ride through all the blue flags to turn them pink. If you miss a flag, the rest will turn yellow. Alright. Ride back through the blue flags that you missed. Cool. Again, a nice and clear goal. If we miss a thing, it's fine. We'll figure it out later. There is a lot, once again, to explore, and you know... Ooh, coins? In the previous one, we were just given a large quantity of coins at the end. Now, we really have to look for them. There is technically a sound effect when picking one up, and quite frankly, that's good enough for me. There we go. A squirrel. We picked up the pink box, which I assume is good. There is hay here. We cannot traverse it. I'm curious about the squirrel and if we can greet it. It's gone now, but there was a squirrel there, to be fair. Decent amount of animals in this game so far. I respect it. If you look... Oh, jeez. Oh, no. I'm blinking. Okay, so I think we figured out the part where jumping is relevant. Not necessary, per se. I don't know if there's a penalty for not jumping outside of the blinking, but now at least we know there is a purpose to the jump. We have picked up another coin. I do hope we get to collect more flowers. Watch out for the hedgehog. Look at that. It's like 3 pixels and I love them. Please don't fall off the... Oh, well, alright. Oop. Ducks, from the sounds of things. I think I saw a goose, but that's fine. Ducks and geese are, in a world like this, I suppose, largely similar. Another box, very nice. I don't know what the boxes are, but that's probably fine. The duck grew when I got close to it. I guess maybe the duck looking up might be bigger than the duck looking down. It's one of them walking ducks. The type that walks into barrels. You know the ones. They're great. I love them. Very nice. There's some flowers here that we can trample. It doesn't seem to matter too much, though. So fair enough, I guess. Jump over. Very nice. We will not blink no longer. Anymore. Yeah, that was a sentence and a half, but we got through it. I see the coin. But at the same time... Oh, there's so many different ways we can, you know, cross all these gaps and such. We can go for the very obvious coin. We did just turn into stars, so I'm guessing I hit the obstacle again. The duck's going for the coin. And if we try to go over the duck, we do also have an accident, but... You know what? We're just gonna be a vandalism simulator here on our horse, but we're at the same time, we're doing our best. And when you are on a horse, you can effectively take on the world, so that's exactly what we're doing. Little turtle. That's a very green face. Look at that turtle. That one's gonna be a ninja someday. Very nice. Alright, let's move on. Even though I can look at that turtle for perhaps the rest of my existence, it's probably for the best that we keep up the pace in this horsing around. I want the horseshoe, but there's infinite squirrels coming out of the barrel. Oh no. The flags have turned yellow, even though it previously said that you'd have to miss a flag for it to turn yellow, but hopefully that's fine. Occasionally, Barbie sits down, and I'm not sure if that means that I messed something up, or if she just has various riding positions for, There's a lot of stars coming off of me right now. It's a very distracting game in a lot of ways, because there's so many questions that pop up every time I try to do anything. But it's fine. We're collecting our coins, we're collecting the money for horse charity, we're saving horse, and quite frankly, what better can we do for the world I should probably change my horse every now and then, but at the same time, I kind of dig these vibes. So it's like, well, we did it. We got all the cubes, horseshoes. Yeah, new horses sponsored. H9 question mark 8 question mark BB for Barbie, obviously. It didn't say I got a minigame, did it? No. Unfortunate, but let's check out the stable, the charity photo album. We already got 16 horses. We're doing pretty good. We've already adopted quite the horses. Very nice. They do look very similar to the horses that we could select previously, but maybe there is technically a difference. Yeah, there's still a lot of horses to come. Let's not spoil ourselves, of course. I'm changing my outfit. We are going for that shirt. And that leg. Very nice. Onwards we go. Time to save more horses in the Primrose Hill race. Ride around the track 3 times, look for a secret shortcut by the pink barrel. I feel like if it's a secret shortcut, it loses its secrecy when you point out where it is, but perhaps I'm being too critical about this. I've got my racing pants on though, so I'm feeling good. I am a little worried that I didn't get through those flags just now though, so hopefully that's not going to be a problem. There is a big arrow pointing in that direction, but that's nothing. We picked up the bee balloon, so we should get an extra life now. I can't... My horse is trying to tell me something, but I'm not sure what it is. It seems to indicate that I have to get off my horse, but I'm genuinely not 100% sure what this means, but maybe if we run fast enough. Oh yeah, my horse does not want to go there. That's a worry. Now, is this because of those flags that I was worried about? Because, quite frankly, that's plausible, but at the same time, surely not. Well, that's very annoying, isn't it? This is going to cut into our time by a lot, but on the one hand, I kind of understand why they did it like this, but on the other hand, spending some of our precious okay, this horse just doesn't want to go through the barrels. Am I supposed to go in the opposite direction? This doesn't feel right, but you know what? Let's give it a shot. Let's go in the other direction, and maybe it'll be more feasible. Maybe horse wants to go through the rolling hay bales. Yep. Got the E balloon for B. Yeah, and let's you know what? I'm gonna I'm just gonna try this one more time. Let's just see if I go through the flags normally from the get-go, things are fine, or if I got into a state of panic where the game wasn't really quite sure what to do anymore. Because there doesn't seem to be that much. There doesn't. This is quite the conundrum. What do you want from me, game? It seems to indicate that I have to get off the horse or something. Right? But there isn't a button for that. There's only like 3 buttons on a Game Boy Advance and I've pressed all of them. And quite frankly, I have reached the puzzle section in this game. I mean, it does look like... I don't understand what that means. Am I wearing the wrong clothes? Am I meant to ride brown horse here in order to win this race, and this horse simply is not up for the standard? Am I able to get out of this conundrum? Out of all the games that I was worried about being too struggling of a puzzle game, this, I'm gonna say, it was unlikely to be this one, but technically not impossible. If I just keep jumping, maybe I'll reach such speed that the game can't stop me anymore, but no, it genuinely doesn't want me to go there. No matter how much I try to get this horse there. Oh, there is very much potential for clipping through this wall. It does kind of look like there is something there, but I don't know. This is quite the puzzle. It really does. It's like the one thought that Barbie has right now is like, no, this horse cannot go there. Also, sometimes my horse's legs go diagonal, which is another worry, I suppose. But you know what? Some horses go diagonal. That's a famous thing about horses. We've all had that problem where a horse is suddenly crooked, and dealing with a crooked horse is tricky. Okay, at this point I am just trying to break through this invisible wall here, but yeah, this is good. Oh! Wait! How? What? How? What? How? Alright, so there is a way to get off the horse. Alright, we're trying this one more time. Oh my god. I should have looked at the manual for the controls, I guess, but I wasn't aware. Because I think I pressed both L and R at the same time or something weird like that. And I wasn't expecting that to be a mechanic, if I'm being honest. Truth be told, I wasn't ready for the horse dance that I was doing there either, but I don't understand how to get off this horse. Because I was dancing around over here, right? Every button I press right now is effectively doing nothing. But then a second ago, suddenly I managed to get off horse. Oh my god, this is the most difficult game ever made. I mean, this is good. This is looking promising right here. When you got something like this going on, you know you're going in the right direction. But at the same time, I'm a little concerned. You would think, right? Standing still, pressing some amount of buttons, maybe all of them, would at some point allow you to get off horse. Realistically speaking. But so far I've only managed to make this horse dance and unfortunately not make it dance in the correct direction. This is so bizarre. Am I really gonna have to look up the manual for this game? Ay. Oh, there is a how to play section in the main menu, and I didn't look at it. But I'm gonna look at it real quick, because it should tell me how to beat this puzzle. Alright, that sounds like what I need. Press the R button to stop the horse and dismount. And with press, I assume it means press it, hold it, never let it go, touch it forever, because truth be told, it was not doing it. I mean, I've seen it do it once, so clearly there is some potential there. Come on. Barbie. My god. We've done it. We've managed to get off horse. Oh, goodness. Maybe with this we could have gone into the phone booth as well. Because now we have human powers. Okay, the flags are still turning pink even though we are in human mode, but it is... Ay. Barbie is not the speed of a horse, unfortunately. I don't know if I had to walk that far with the horse either, if at some point earlier I could have let go. I feel like stopping deliberately on this bridge feels wrong. It kind of looks like one of those goat bridges where you're deliberately meant to not have goats walk over them, and I suppose a horse generally isn't a goat, but it is, you know, physically speaking, compared to a human, arguably close enough that it would probably do a pretty good job at worrying a horse. So yeah, all in all, it's going better than I expected. But if we keep this pace up, and watch out for the squirrels, we are definitely not gonna get there in time, which is a concern that I have. God, maybe I could have gotten back on the horse like days ago, because... Ooh... We have to beat 3 minutes 30, and it is actually looking like a time to beat here. Oh, never mind, we got a time bonus, and our time went back to 0. Okay, well, I guess that works as well. If we just pretend that we didn't need the time. There we go. And maybe once I'm past the invisible wall, I can just horse mode back up and just continue to horse around for the rest of it. Because, truth be told... No, the button just doesn't do anything. But presumably, if I just mash it, it should work. We have no more Barbie balloons. Also, there was the secret shortcut near the barrel, I guess, which I haven't really looked into, and I suppose there is a barrel, like, right down there. But it's at the pink barrel, right? Oh, jeez. Was there a pink barrel? I don't actually recall. We've got a lot of Dutch flag barrels, but no pink barrels that we could use as a shortcut. Didn't even notice all the flags on these barrels until just now. But I did see a whatchamacallit. There's the pink barrel. I saw a flower here earlier. Oh my god, that's a huge shortcut. This doesn't seem like something you can do in a race, realistically, because that cuts off like half the stage. But then again, collecting Barbie balloons, and then if you collect 6 balloons, you put your time back to 0. I feel like it's not a standard race, you know? You don't see that very often in the Derby. Maybe I haven't watched enough Horse Olympics, but I don't recall that part where there's the Barbie balloons rule. Please, Barbie, my goodness. Stop doing weird poses. There you go. I suppose it also depends who's riding the horse, but I am very far away from the horse. It seems to indicate that I'm holding this horse in some way, but realistically she is just sashaying across this path without a worry, even though the hovering timer is ever counting down. I just think she could run quicker. I feel like she's not taking this race very seriously, and that is very possibly because of rules in place, such as the Barbie balloon rule, but I still feel like they should at least try, you know? There is, you know, a little bit of effort to be put in there. And sure, there's a lot of ducks on the track as well, and we're running through pink cubes and whatnot, and occasionally there's the hay bale section, but even then, you should at least respect the rules a little bit, I'm just saying, and like try to run for it a bit, you know? That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, everyone. I've looked into it, and quite frankly, it doesn't make any sense. This is a worry. Fortunately, the hay bales disintegrated, and we have managed to win this race through a lot of difficulty. But we've done it. We've figured out how to get off horse, which is good. I've watched the how to play until getting off the horse, so hopefully there's not more controls that I need to be aware of. Judging from these happy faces, it looks like we've gotten another mini-game in our hands, so that's exciting. There we go. Incredible that after all that we get a full Game Boy Advance. Castlevania 8 LB, which of course stands for left bumper, which is the next secret button we're going to use. But first, happy trails. Create a path that leads the horse to jumps without going off screen. You need to hit 5 jumps. Yeah, alright. Is this a pipe maze? Yep. It absolutely is a pipe maze. Alright. Great. Where's the end? Oh, no. Okay, we're fine. We can cross the same path multiple times. Is this... That's a jump. Yeah, that's a jump. There's an apple tree there. Apple trees obviously indicate that you're going in the right direction. There's a pink cube there, though. This isn't looking good. I don't know how the rules exactly work, because I'm guessing horses, just like normal horses, can only walk straight forward, so I'm not sure if this one's ever going to turn. And also, occasionally jumps morph into the path here, which is also a little bit of a concern, I suppose. But yeah, again, this is a pretty standard horse race format, I would say. The pipe maze format. It does fit the music, to be fair. There is an ever-present ghostly serenity to it as we traverse these continuously changing horse paths. So quite frankly, I can get into it. This isn't looking too great, but we're making it work. To be fair, I haven't really ever played a pipe maze quite like this. Usually, with a pipe maze, there's like some rules in place, but in this one, it is truly the Wild West. It truly is. Let's just get you that way. Oh, good. It does give you a lot of information as well with just the colors. It's doing a pretty good job being a pipe maze. That's how I'm feeling about this current situation. But it is tricky to get to where I want to go, because I kind of want to get that cube, but at the same time, this is the slowest horse ever. But at the same time, I think if I was a horse stuck in limbo, I too would perhaps slow down and question, well, a variety of things, I suppose, so I can't really be too harsh on it. It is an unlikely situation to be in as a horse, I suppose. It doesn't happen frequently. But when you see a pink cube, you must, even as a horse, think, ooh, I gots to get me some of that action. That's a classic horse thought right there, as we run through a limbo of endless jumps and such. I might not make it to any jump at this rate. Oh, there we go. A jump materialized in front of me, but I am a bit worried about the time limit here, because, well, this horse is sauntering at a pace when there are no jumps nearby, and then the moment the horse crosses the threshold of a jump, it suddenly disappears, which isn't great either. Oh, jeez. This is a tough nut to crack, as they say in the pipe maze industry. Yeah, this is just gonna fall apart after round 2, and you know what? I'm okay with that. There's still more levels to explore, and quite frankly, this worries me. There's a lot more going on canonically here that I am not ready to deal with as a simple horse wandering these limbo-like streets, so quite frankly, sometimes you're gonna get a game over, and that's fine. There you go. I will not try again. we will just leave that alone. It is a worry, and I don't care for it. Let's go to the Buttercup Mountain Trail instead. It's a lot nicer. Look for pink horseshoes for a speed boost. Collect fly spray to keep the flies away. Well, they do keep coming up with new mechanics, and I do appreciate that. I don't know why I need a speed boost, because quite frankly, we are rocketing ahead at all times. I learned only recently that the average horse has more than 1 horsepower, and quite frankly, that already changed my life. But to get a speed boost on that horse, okay, never mind, I like the speed boost. It makes you go real quick. This is good. I mean, for exploration purposes, this might not be ideal, because there's only 3 frames per second, and in those frames, you really gotta explore your territory, but at the same time, that's a good quality speed boost right there. Alright, we can keep the flies away with this, which I suppose is good. We were troubled by a lot of flies in the previous chapter after all, so I can see why, with this many Dutch flags, that they would try to hide away. Oh yeah, there we go. We crushed them. You may not have seen the flies. Oh god, and of course your classic avalanche in your horse path. That's a worry for every horse rider. And the hay bales, of course. Donkey Kong is somewhere in the distance, but unfortunately the budget wasn't high enough to hire Donkey Kong to be on screen, so that is what it is. But I did see another pink barrel, so that obviously means a hedgehog. It's a little hedgehog family. I wish to know more about this little hedgehog. Oh, look at that. You can add this to any game, and it will improve the game. Just add a family of hedgehogs crossing a path, even if it doesn't necessarily look like a path, even if it's just green. You can add a bunch of hedgehogs to it, and it already increases the quality of life, of all life on Earth. So, yeah, that's my game design tip of the day for you, which of course is why anyone would end up here. Just add more hedgehogs. It really... Do you know how, like Sonic the Hedgehog without a hedgehog in it, it was a worse game. It was... there wasn't much going on, but once they added that hedgehog, it was full speed ahead. Similar to how I go when I pick up a pink horseshoe. There is no one that can stop this horse. You can see 100 hay bales rolling down a hill, and this horse will just crush through them effortlessly, because I simply refuse to press the jump button. There we go. Gotta turn all these flags pink, or otherwise we lose, probably. Surprisingly tricky. The movement isn't grand, but it's functional. You know, it gets you from A to B, ultimately. And that's ultimately all we need for some good quality movement. The jumps are optional, and I appreciate that, because if they weren't optional, I'd be stuck on basically every obstacle, probably forever. So all in all, I can kind of appreciate that they were like, you know what, don't worry about it. They promised a simple hour of fun and running around. And that's what we're having right now. You do actually have quite a lot of time to start your jump as well. If I just stay away from the flies, is that a problem? Because there's a coin here, there's a duck waddling around, having the time of his life. Yeah, I can just keep the fly, because it probably isn't great to randomly fly spray whatever I run across. Oh, I know how to do this now. Well, in theory. I need to be slightly further away from the actual place where you have to cross, because otherwise, obviously, you cannot dismount your horse. There just isn't enough room. Again, though, this doesn't... I feel uncomfortable taking a horse across a bridge like this. It doesn't seem fit for purpose for the purpose of getting horses across, you know? I feel like they can get their hooves stuck in the little ridges, and that would be a predicament, to say the least, because I assume the horse would panic, and that would create a situation that no one wants to be in. It would be horrendous, presumably, for everyone involved, so... Yeah, I just don't think this is giving the right role models. I'm not even gonna try. This is quite the password system. I will say they have picked well, I was gonna say they picked largely characters that don't look alike, but then they put B and 8 in the same password, so it's like, because there's a lot of letters available in the password system, obviously not all of them, and the V and the Y look identical to each other, but it's kind of nice that, you know, they gave it some thought, and I can respect it. How we're doing on stables. Choose horse. No, not that one. The charity photo album. We're halfway through the game, I guess? Probably. We're going to the next level, the Pine Valley Race. Ride around the track 3 times, watch out for animals crossing your path. 5 minutes 30, it's a long one. The previous one was a sprint, this one's a marathon. This one's gonna keep us going for a while. I hope the Barbie balloon rule is in place once more, because quite frankly, I'm worried. Oh, there we go. Very good. I wonder if it's technically better to collect the balloons on the second go around, because our time went back to 0, but I don't know if it can go like in the negatives, you know? So there's some big questions popping into my head already in terms of strategy. Because obviously we want to put our best speed forward. I assume the pink barrel means we have to cross the train tracks at some point, so I'll do that in round 2. Because nothing says horse safety like trying to get a horse across train tracks while hay bales are falling off of the sky. Yeah, okay, get off the horse. Come on, there you go. That's a good Barbie, very nice. Now please, run with all your might. As mystery man and person in background clapping for us as we get a horse here specifically so we can get back up. I suppose, how many horse obstacle courses are there? Because surely, like, you got a bunch of horse-based Olympic sports, and I'll be honest, I haven't seen all of them. I am not a connoisseur, as they say, of the horse Olympics on most days, even though supposedly the Netherlands actually do pretty good on them. But I assume obstacle course is sort of an unlikely portion of the Olympics regarding horses. That's a very pink train that's there. That's good. So we got baby, so that's nice. It did not give us a time bonus. I assume the R is in the train track area. And if not, we might be in trouble. I can't do the maths this quickly where we are, but if 5 minutes 30 is where we need to be, we might be alright, honestly. Because that's like 1 minute, what, like 50-ish per lap? Yeah, that sounds right. So I don't see how anything here can go wrong, but at the same time, let's try going... Oh yeah, there's the R. It's very visibly on screen. That's probably fine. So the horse can cross train tracks, but not... Look, all I'm saying... Oh, it's not a shortcut, is it? Oh, fair enough. Okay. Interesting. Also, it did put my time back to 0, so it definitely... I guess it's probably best to just get that one on round 3. And then you really got all the time in the world to just live your life. I guess I was wondering how you would get some of these flags as well with that train track, because it does sort of directly go to the end there, and there's a lot of blue flags to grab, so I suppose it makes sense, but at the same time, you know. I do feel like I need to experiment more with how much we can make this horse dance, because quite frankly, there is some moves going on at times when I'm trying to get off the horse, and I think there's a lot of potential. Also, I genuinely do want to know if I can just clip out of bounds. But I suppose that is the thought I have when realistically playing any game ever made, so yeah, there's no exception here. Obviously, the horse did a full 180 after getting on top of it. That's just what horses do. Horses are kind of known for that, I suppose, because, you know, horses panic. Like me, they panic at random and then they turn around 180 style, and I can respect it. Can I, you know, since we got like a day's worth of time left anyway, can we go on here? No. It is, I suppose it's probably above me, to be fair. It's kind of tough at times to judge distance in what we're dealing with here. But that's also just kind of a curse of isometric perspectives, I suppose, because we do go underneath the train over here, and I suppose it would be kind of unusual if... Well, we do go downhill, I think, right? So it's like, well... Alright, so we got like 4 minutes left to deal with this last lap. I'm honestly not sure if the pink cubes are an invulnerability. There's probably a section on it on the how to play part, but, you know, obviously once I figured out how to solve one puzzle, I immediately stopped looking and went our separate ways. But unfortunately, the how to play section didn't also point out that you have to stand in a very specific spot for it to work, so... all in all, I'm just saying I don't trust it anymore. I feel like if I could just jump forever as well. I don't know if that would slow me down, but it would make me effectively invulnerable, which, again, it is similar to how horse riding works in real life, I assume, where as long as the horse is in the air, you're probably fine. Once it lands, that's a whole different issue, but as long as you're flying, I suppose it's not technically horse-specific. As long as you're in the air, you're probably good. It's the landing parts that sort of complicate things a little bit more, but I'd say it also counts for horses, and I think that's just knowledge that... Why does it turn around? Why horse turn around like that? I don't get it. I was on a very normal train of thought, but when the horse did another 180, like the first time you panic, I get that. The second time you should know, you know? Even as a horse, you would probably know that this is the point where we go south. Could a horse read a compass? It seems unlikely, but I think horses probably have some level of direction. Because otherwise, again, you would just panic more, right? If it's just aimless every time. You would probably accept that it recognizes landmarks. Let's just have some normal thoughts about horses. You know, while we're at it, while we're doing this obstacle course, I hope we get another minigame from Mystery Person over here. I'm guessing the dialogue is question mark, smiley face, Game Boy Advance, exclamation mark. Nice. Oh, I missed the other smiley face. Maybe we'll be able to fully predict the next game. But not yet. New horse is sponsored. DB5, which is of course the that person that robbed that safe that one time. But let's try Shoe Shuffle. This'll be good. Move all the horseshoes from one peg to another. You can only move one of it. It's Towers of Hanoi, isn't it? Timer. Move counter. So is there a difficulty level to it? Well, I guess let's just do move counter. Let's just... Yeah, there you go. I guess you could just have less stuff, right? You know, the funny thing about Towers of Hanoi, as they call it, I never fully remember how to do it, so we're gonna be here for like a few days at least, so I hope everyone's prepared for that. I also set it to hard difficulty, so we could really explore these sound effects to the max of their potential here, because quite frankly, this is grand. Yeah, this is the part where I've definitely forgotten something along the lines, and I'm... Well, we're getting through it, aren't we? The moment you play a perfect game, of the Towers of Hanoi, life is concluded. So I usually try to mess up here and there a little bit to prolong my existence on this earth for just a little bit longer, you know? So ultimately, it's a choice I make for myself, and you might see it as suboptimal, and that playing Towers of Hanoi incorrectly most days isn't the best way to spend your time, because now I'm just back here again, right? Which isn't ideal, but we're getting through it. But at the same time, if we do it incorrectly multiple times each time, then, you know, it ultimately does prolong your enjoyment of the towers of the previously mentioned Hanoi. I've fully messed this up at this point. The real question is, how much of this am I actually going to show in the final edit of this, and how much am I just going to edit away and pretend wasn't there? The move counter is certainly going to give it away, and I feel like the timer would only count up rather than down. Surely there's not a timer that counts down in a mode like this. That would be wild. I mean, I would fully respect it, I suppose. But generally, at some point you just try doing this. Oh. And then occasionally, some games are like, fine, we'll let you cheat just this once. And other games are obviously not like that. And this is very much in the camp of, we're not gonna let you get away with it that easy. And again, I kind of respect it, but at the same time, I'm a little infuriated. Yeah, I give this at like a 15 seconds max before I just edit to the end, but the important thing is that at least I had a good time trying to talk and do Towers of Hanoi at the same time, which is a recipe for complete anarchy, ultimately. And, you know, there's something to be said about that. About this position that I've gotten myself in, where I effectively worked my way back again to where I was previously. Which is how I think every time anyone does this specific puzzle, you always get there eventually. It always ends up there somehow. And that's, you know, that's how you make relatable content. You just make sure that this is the thing you cannot do consistent. This is the one thing you need to not be able to do consistently. The moment you can do this consistently, that's it. You're no longer relatable to anyone. It ends there, unfortunately. I don't make up the rules to these things either. That's just how life goes. And that's just the way you gotta look at these things, you know? If you can perfectly play Donut Game, then at that point, that's it, you know? There's only going down from that. This is the high point of most of life, and you gotta remember those things. You gotta... These things keep you humble, ultimately. That's what life is all about, staying humble. And if this is not the essence of humbleness, humility, that sounds more correct. Then yeah. But I think slowly but surely we're getting somewhere, right? We can almost, yeah, look at that. Perfect. I'm gonna just fully enjoy this from this point on. There will be no more talking until we're done with this. There we go. A perfect game of Towers of Hanoi, as you can tell, because it says it's the best amount of moves that you can do. So all in all, happy we got through that one. That took so long. Don't worry about it. I'm just terrible at that specific thing in life. Did I get everything? Yeah, I did. Did I get everything everywhere so far? Yeah, it looks like it. Look at these pictures as well. They actually look quite nice. Look for pickups in secret areas. The arrows on the ground will guide you along. But surely the arrows won't point at the secret areas, because at that point, everyone can find them. Now I'm curious actually about something before we horse around somewhere. Barbie, get off horse. Barbie, get off horse. Barbie, please. Okay. Well, I guess that answers one question, which is, can you get off the horse everywhere? And the answer appears to be no. We can freeze into a braking. Yeah, so we can probably get some dancing on. So that's good to know. If we just keep mashing the brake and dismount button, we can certainly, you know, do horse dances. It also gives some insight of the rotation of this horse, which I actually sort of do think is interesting, because I don't fully understand how they did it. Because it seems that it's actually a 3D model of a horse, but there isn't that much 3D going on in most Game Boy Advance things, you know? So it just seems unlikely. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Let's just go past this ice fall and instead enjoy the beautiful tunes of this game. Look for secret areas that the arrows certainly would not just be pointing at, although I'm guessing the pink barrel system still works. There is a cow there, very important. Admire the cow as we do our best. As we do our best, you know, sometimes that's all you can give. And quite frankly, I am not striving to be able to do more than that. There's a cow in the bottom of this cliff. I hope that cow is meant to be there. Can I jump that far? No. The sheep has been noted. Please, Barbie, please get off the horse. I ask but one thing. Now, another thing I suppose I'm curious about, because can I just wander now that I have this horse in my hands? Because I couldn't get off the horse in that earlier area. Oh, but I guess the jump's gonna get in the way, isn't it? Oh, that's sneaky. That's sneaky business, but I guess you can just use these jumps as like stopping points to stop me from shenanigans. Which I guess is also... No, never mind, I just walked through it. I see. Well then, how far can I take this? Because surely you won't let me just walk everywhere after you put so much effort in me not being able to get off the horse. Can I get the horse stuck like this? It can go fast if it wants to, and I like that it doesn't go into a running animation, but rather it goes into a power walk, and I respect it. You know, everyone knows that if a horse is being carried by a sachet, of course it doesn't... The rules are simply different. Can I just walk in between these? No, kind of, but realistically the answer is no. It's sort of incredible though that you can't get off your horse earlier, but you can just walk all the way here then. And if anyone else is expecting me to just run into an invisible wall once I reach those two barrels again, I mean, you're right, that's obviously going to happen, but it's still important to do little bits of research here and there, because for all I know, they could have added a whole secret level behind these two barrels. It's obviously fairly unlikely, but it's technically not impossible. Yeah, this is... Yeah, that wasn't, yeah, there was no... yeah, there wasn't a secret level. I can probably jump through that waterfall with my horse, though. That's probably the secret area they were envisioning when they gave that little hint about the secret areas. But, you know, it's nice that you can take your horse for a walk. Occasionally, it helps the mind. I wonder if that means you can't actually get off your horse in the first level, because it seems like once I get here, I can very easily dismount horse. But earlier on, it did not want me to. But I suppose maybe that's just not the kind of area where you get off your horse, you know? Some areas are just not made for getting off horse. I also, for the longest time, thought that these lines were kind of like arrows, but I guess they're just showing off where the rectangle is. And that's also, I guess, nice to know. If one were to question the rectangle of this place. There is a coin there and I want it, but I suppose maybe we'll get there later. Maybe that's just a way to indicate that there is a secret area over there. It's hard to say. This game is complex beyond complex. I think as far as Game Boy Advance games go, this is probably the one with the most complexities. Doesn't have running water, unfortunately, but it does have a lot of other things going on. I suppose I can't even imagine that this game would run with running... Oh, is that true? Because the flags move. But I suppose once you have running water, you have a significantly larger portion of the game moving the entire time, and now it's mostly horse. And with the amount of water they added... I don't know, I can't see it. It can't be done. It cannot be done, is my conclusion to that story. I found the coin. The flies seem unbothered. I mean, they're chasing me, obviously, but I have no need to decimate them. I assume they're probably necessary for the flora and fauna of the land to thrive, so I'm not just gonna bug spray all of the flies that I see whilst I'm on horse. Unless I run into them by accident like just now. But you can't be ready for such moments. Or is the rectangle an indicator of, you have reached get off of horse. Now you may do it. Oh. Oh no. Remember what I said about going out of bounds? Yeah. I don't know where I am. This is a... Alright, we're going left. Let's just see. I'll be honest. I wasn't expecting that one. This was unlikely given... I mean, they even put the rectangle there, you know? Like, it seemed unlikely that I was going to be able to fully get out of bounds like this, but... I'm just gonna try to move, like, up and down while I'm trying to go to the right, but I think I'm fully stuck. Sort of amazing. Well, life finds a way, I suppose. Let's just redo all of that. All right, let's try this again. I'm getting off my horse. Will I? All right, nice. We managed to get off horse without transferring ourselves to another dimension. Easier said than done, I would say, but you know, like, yeah. You can never be too sure. Once you accidentally open that portal, it's hard not to step through it and see what's out there, you know? But unfortunately, it was just a soft lock, so it is what it is. It happens, you know? It's rare. It is rare for a Barbie game to do that specifically, but I'll be honest, I'm sort of amazed that this exists in what it is because of how it looks graphically. Specifically, how the horse looks sort of impresses me because, again, there isn't that much 3D on Game Boy Advance, and the 3D there is, well, rough is a kind word for it, I suppose. So I'm kind of impressed that they've gotten some of this to, you know, sort of look like a horse. You can pick different colored horses, you can change your outfits and things. There are not many Game Boy Advance games that actually let you do all of that. Admittedly, the rest of it is a bit bare bones, but you know, it's doing what it needs to do, and I respect it. I respect it. I don't know if this is a secret area or not. There's flies there, and they might make... Well, I think I destroyed the flies even without fly spray, so I'm truly not 100% sure what their purpose is. But I'm not going to question it too much. I think we have once again reached a potential danger zone when it comes to, you know, puzzle-solving sections. I do wonder what I did. I am genuinely quite curious what I managed to do to get off my horse in such a dramatic fashion, because if I could replicate it, that would be kind of interesting at least. I just feel like it's not going to be something that's going to happen very frequently. Seeing as it's only happened once so far, I suppose is one of the indicators of that. But also just, you know, it doesn't seem like the kind of system where that much should go wrong, but I don't know, maybe it's like an angles thing or something. You know, you angle your horse in such a way and then the game's like, ooh, is that a 1 or a 2? Let's just turn that into minus 35,000 instead and then just see what happens. And, you know, that's how I would think if I was a computer. And yeah, that's how I've always learned counting, ultimately. It's either 1 or 2, and if it's not either of those, just fly away. just be gone. It's done now. We're done with this nonsense and we will not be standing for it any longer. We shouldn't let numbers rule our world, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, that seems right. We could just have less numbers. At what point did someone say, you know, we need a number higher than 2, and people agreed with the person? You know, there was no need. After 2, you can realistically just stop counting, because in most instances, it's too much. This will be good. Anytime I'm like on a sort of awkward angle near a bridge now, I'm just a little worried that, oh whoops, there I go flying again, and it's you know, it's a fear based on something, and I can kind of appreciate that. Usually my fears are fairly well, they're horse based, I suppose, so it's kind of nice that I'm able to conquer most of them through the powers of this game, so that's nice. Now, truthfully, I haven't had many instances in real life, I suppose, where I got off a horse and then suddenly, you know, gone I was. The horse was tippy-tapping around off screen somewhere. But I can see it happen. I think that's a normal thing in the horse world. It's what they call the equestrian gap, I believe is what that is known as. I might need to Google that later to make sure it's not horrendous. But, you know, there's a chance that it's not already a real thing, and I'm sticking with it. That's the kind of happy-go-lucky terminology that we go for, that we just say words and then we hope that there's nothing about it on the internet that isn't related to wormholes. And, you know, it's effectively just a very easy way to live life. I see a coin there. And that concerns me. There is also a horseshoe, though, so there is a chance that we can just walk there later, and then we just go like a little bit back again using the power of the horseshoe speed. At the same time, I am trying to get as far away from my horse every time I'm walking with the horse, in the hope that silly business happens, because as much as it pains me when I teleport into space, because then I suddenly have to redo a bunch of stuff, there is a hint of joy every time it does happen. So I obviously, while I'm trying to avoid it, I'm also actively trying to replicate it every time, and that's on me ultimately, I suppose. It's hard to find a middle ground between full destruction and having a little bit of a giggle. You know, it's a struggle. It's a tricky one, but I'm sure we'll manage. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. We are going away from the arrow. Now that's a bunch of tricky business right there, because there is definitely a coin that I missed. There is technically a chance we'll come back to that screen at a different point. But more than likely I just missed a coin, and I'm very much at the point of how bad is that? Because it clearly doesn't care that... Yeah, the ending's right there. We saw the finish line just now. It doesn't really seem to care if I go through flags, because the moment I go back the screen, the flags just turn yellow again, as if nothing ever happened. So I feel like the flags are ultimately just a red herring. Just to sort of keep your brain occupied and seeing the colors change every now and then. Oh, look at this though, there's... Oh, wow. Look at that. I'm so happy that I didn't spend like a full year trying to figure out some kind of way to get up top here without what I just did, because I can see myself actively trying to go down this fence or something like that, just putting a bungee jump cord on my horse and believing in myself, but simply put, the hill's just too low. It is roughly horse size, and I would say that if you put a bungee jump cord on your horse and then you go down the hill that low, it just wouldn't be very effective. You just get the horse to fall on his face, and that wouldn't be good. Watch out for the squirrels. I think did it mention animals? In this one, it might have. So that's good. I was properly warned at some point in life, and I've taken that warning to heart. You know, that's important. There's a horseshoe there. I'm hoping that means I already picked up the coin that was next to that horseshoe and that I don't have to worry about it. But my brain is going into overdrive. Thinking, wait, you've missed every coin that's important to you. And, well, that's a worry, isn't it? There you go. We have finished. We have reached the end. As you can see, we have done it. Yeah, there. What a great game this is. CBB. The television channel? I guess it's a channel, isn't it? Let's see, where are we at? We are at 48 out of 64. It's like 1 or 2 levels more, right? Trophy case. Look at that. Yeah, like 2 more at most. We're getting there. I'm changing my horse. No, I'm not changing my horse. I'm changing my outfit, though. This horse has been with us the entire time. And I feel like changing into a different horse now would be... well, a recipe for disaster. We'd have to train that horse fully, I would say. There we go. Let's hope we find a desert so that outfit will camouflage us from the dangers. If not, you know, it's tough, but we'll just have to find a way to live with it. I'm guessing, yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Ride around the track 3 times, look for the secret area to find a hidden balloon. Time to beat 350. Another sprint this time, as they say. Tempted to once again just look for that final balloon on the last lap now that we know the secrets of this world. Also a little tempted to just do the track backwards, but I don't think there's really a benefit to doing the track backwards, I suppose, so that's not great. Let's see if we can go here. Obviously, the best place to look for secret areas is awkwardly around a haystack, but unfortunately it was not to be. There's the A. Very nice. It was in a position where I could have just left it alone. I guess if I just find, you know, 5 out of 6 balloons and just keep one that's easily attainable, that's near the end, then your time will just be like 0 seconds. Provided that it works out in a good way. Like I see it. It's here, obviously. I'm surprised I can stay on my horse as I go down the stairs, but sure. Is that the E for Barbie? It is. Very strange ordering. I understand it's in the secret. Ooh, a geyser! Wait, what if they can do that? They can surely do a waterfall as well. This seems far more complicated than well, I don't know how waterfalls work, to be fair. You make a good point, me. Thinking about it now, like, geysers and waterfalls are a strange thing to compare to one another, but surely in a video game world, I feel like they're comparable objects in a way, in terms of trying to figure out the difficulty of creating one. Yeah, just another geyser there, fair enough. Where is the eye? I'm hoping I can just sort of run past the eye awkwardly and really make this as easy as possible. Ay. I did it again! Well, at least now I can see the horse, so that's good. Oh! Okay. There is hope when that happens. I guess. I genuinely did try to press R a lot of times the previous time, but maybe because the horse wasn't on screen, it didn't work out or something like that. But that is a concern. Can I get past this eye, though? I kind of don't want to touch it. That's really unfortunate. Because now I actually have to try. Now I actually have to try and not accidentally Superman my way through the world every now and then. Which is surprisingly tricky, as it turns out, so... yeah, fair enough. I mean, admittedly, I did lose some time trying to get that one balloon, I suppose, but... I feel like this could genuinely be quite tricky. Because this is quite a long track. And there is the danger that suddenly I disappear into orbit, so that, all in all, there is some struggle. 3 laps of this. Oh, maybe I should restart. Because 350, that's... how doable is that? I guess we'll find out on this next lap. We started this one at like 40 seconds. I don't want to think about numbers again. I already mentioned that any number above 2 is unnecessary, but then I didn't really take time into consideration and the counting of that having like at least 9 numbers. So I guess fair enough, but putting them next to each other, that's where everything went wrong. Also just using a 60-second system. I think we should just be able to count to 100 and just extrapolate from there. Realistically, I want to create a metric system for time. That's ultimately what we're getting at here. That was ultimately the moral of this entire game. You may think it started out as a simple horse adventure, but no, ultimately the goal is to figure out some way where we can make counting seconds and hours and such just based on the number 100 instead. Which is a tricky one, because I did say that I only needed 2 numbers again, but at the same time, to create the number 100, I need at least 3 numbers next to each other. So ultimately, there's a lot that you could argue about my system that doesn't quite add up, but at the same time, you know, I'm just saying it would be a lot easier if we could count our minutes in 100s, and then just not worry about how long an hour is, because suddenly you're having to deal with the fact that 5 minutes is 3 minutes long, and that it wouldn't work great. I'll admit, it's not a perfect system, you know? There are some flaws when trying to switch between the metric system of time and the current lesser... What is it? I'm realizing now that I can't think of the name for non-metric. You know, time is a complicated thing. There's a really good chance that I'm not going to beat this time. And I will redo this race if need be, to continue my thoughts about a time metric system. Because I'm fairly sure I'm too slow, but we'll see if it works out. I am definitely going to edit out the second attempt of this race, but by the end of that, I will have fully figured out my time metric system. So all in all, I might, like, you know, not have the full reasoning as to why it's a better method. But it will be correct, and I will write a 700-page essay about it that no one will ever read. But we'll have some great summaries at the end that everyone will go, huh. Yeah, I guess we really should have a metric time. So yeah, we're definitely not going to reach 350 here. Because the strat is to just grab that balloon at the very end, and I didn't do that. And now I'm paying for my hubris. Also, it's just occasionally very difficult to get off a horse, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, look at that. Look at that, 3 minutes 50. I mean, I understand, like, one of the balloons is so far off the path that it's pretty much, if you're not actively looking for it, you're just not gonna grab it. But I was hoping the I would be a bit more avoidable, because some of the other letters were, but then I got greedy with it, because I could have just not grabbed, like, the letter before the I, and, you know, thought about maybe there's going to be a bridge that we were going to have to cross, and things just won't work out in the way that I want. But I didn't have thoughts about that. I was thinking about time metric systems, and ultimately that's a big distraction when trying to race horse. So that's not good. That's where it all went wrong, arguably. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh my god, 3? You gave me 2 coins? Oh my god, oh no. Alright, we're doing that again. No next level, we're doing previous level, because that was a disaster. I'll see you when I'm done with this, I'm not showing this again. You know, there's only like 2 songs in this game, but it's not even that bad. It's honestly not too terrible that the songs they have made available for this, so yeah, fair enough. Anyway, we found Ken, I guess. Now that we've done good enough for him to give us our Game Boy Advance, so I'm pretty pumped about that. We must have been quick enough. I now also understand why E was in the secret area, because you do kind of have to get that one last, I suppose, if you want to win the minigame. So yeah, alright, fair enough. Maze Valley. Guide the horse through the maze as quickly as you can. Collect sugar cubes. Oh, is that what they are? I thought they were just cubes. Obviously, we know how to deal with this. This is just another pipe maze. But... oh. But we control the horse now. Oh, that's exciting. Because... how can you actually... do this wrong? Well, I guess... do we follow the apples, or do we follow the left wall? And... I might... okay, we're going down, because the other direction goes into a dead end. Alright, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Now I'm kind of curious what the difficulty differences are between this, because it is kind of tricky. Like, I'm making some assumptions every time. Like, I'm assuming, yeah, that there is a dead end there, and there's going to be a dead end if I don't go through the right. Oh, no. Try it again. That way. You have to pick your turn before you go into it. I guess if you go into a dead end, it's not the worst, but it's not great to have to turn all the way around. Oh, this is enthralling. There isn't that much in the way of am I going into the correct direction at all. The sugar cubes are still following the logic of well, I hope you were going down this path at the time, because otherwise you're just not going to get it. But, you know, it's certainly a way to do a timed maze. It isn't called hard difficulty for nothing. I'm worried that this is a yeah, it is. Alright, that's fine. At least you can kind of tell pretty quickly when something's a dead end, but I think they can put in some pretty evil dead ends as well, and I'm concerned about that. Because if this is a dead end, then that's it. That's the end of the road, horsey. So, hopefully it's not. Ah, there we go. Still questioning where to go at that point. Oh, and it's only one maze. Alright. Cool. Fair enough. I guess it's probably a random maze every time. Who knows? Who knows? Compete for the Primrose Hill Trophy. Sure. Time to beat 3 minutes. Just one more lap through the world. Is the balloon system in place? It's an important question. The moment I see even one balloon, I will rethink everything that I have going on in terms of horse racing. Oh god, this is a complicated map, isn't it? Is it just one lap, maybe? Oh yeah, and this is like the start of the game as well, so you can actually just take a little path through there. You get some fly spray, if I were to pick that up, of course, but we're just going to avoid the flies instead. The pacifist option in the horse riding game. Perhaps not what people are looking for at these times, but there's our cheering audience. We've seen them many times in Primrose, but I'm happy that they're still here hanging out, having a good time, enjoying the races between Barbie and no one else. I saw a pink pixel in that earlier part and it was bothering me, but let's just move on. You too can look for the pink pixel if you want. Might be a secret area, might just be an errant pixel. Who knows? I will not overthink. Oh, it's a whole crowd of people and they're all clapping for me. My god, we truly have reached peak. And a whole nother crowd of people that look completely different from the previous one. Or all their twin relatives. Both are equally plausible, I suppose. Maybe this is the kind of place where everyone has a twin. Some kind of twin mountains, you could call it. There must be a term for that. Let's not overthink it too much, though. This is a weird race. There's a lot of screens with frequently very little going on in them. But, you know, it's something else, and it's more of the early game, I suppose. There wasn't really that much town life. Except for the first level, generally, so, yeah. Nice to see that we do get some of this. This is where the castle would be, where all our potted plants that they took away for this race, because you gotta keep it safe, obviously. This door looks like a painting as well, which is kind of amazing. I don't really know how far I am into the race, though, and that concerns me a little bit. Hello, fans. Keep clapping. I need your assistance. The sign should tell me where to go, but I can't read. Which is quite a hindrance in this horse racing game, it turns out. I think we're probably fine, though, right? There's not that many different ways you can do this, I feel. We have gotten a lot of the speed-ups as well. We have only run into like half the obstacles, so all in all. I did say it was a pacifist run, and that's clearly gone out the window, but, you know, we did pass some flies without demolishing them, so all in all, that's like halfway there. Which is a pretty good deal. Oh no. This is where the start of the game is. It's not where the race wants me to go, though. Oh, it's right here. Game complete. Alright, well that's a good way to indicate that we're done. Hey, we're number 1. We beat... I would say Ken. His face is unusual. And another person. So all in all, everyone's very excited. Barbie wins. And we take a little picture of ourselves. Very nice. Multiple. Oh, we got a huge check. Which of course is going to the horses, but still. We did it. We beat the game. We got all the mini games. Most of them completed. Even the tower. The charity photo album is filled to the brim with horse. Can I select those horses to play as them as well? Gray horses were considered lucky, which is why they pull wedding carriages. Alright, did not know that. That's a palomino. Is a chestnut. I guess that's just a type of horse. I've never actually looked at types of horses. Also, only one of them had... Is it just like the ones with the thing that have a little bit of extra information? The mother of a horse. Alright. What about this one? The father of a horse. The average horse consumes 12 gallons of water a day. That's even more than me. A horse's age can be determined by his teeth. All the other ones are just like, this is this type of horse. Sort of. Horses generally sleep standing up. Good. Horses spend around 12 hours a day grazing. That is the same as me. A red ribbon in the horse's tail indicate that it may kick, so you should stay away. Wait, a red ribbon? Oh, that's actually kind of important to know, I suppose. Huh. Didn't know that. Thanks, Patty. We're learning so much about horse. A horse's hoof is always growing, just like fingernails. Well, there you go. We've learned about some of the horses. I don't think I clicked on all of them. And clearly I have a little bit to learn about the horse species, which, I mean, I think was obvious at this point, because I didn't even know they could go out of bounds, but let's just... Because these ones actually... Or is it dam means that is the... Yeah, alright. Interesting. This one's interesting, actually, because a lot of times in one of the first Barbie horse adventures for the computer, it would call every young horse a pony rather than a filly. Or a colt in this case, which is of course the gun, but they did figure it out. So that's good. The tallest breed is the Shire. From England. How would that be pronounced? If it's just the word singularly. The horse is called Toffee, which is a good name for a horse. Bell, the smallest breeds, are the Falabellas of Argentina. I wonder if that's still true. Surely at some point they can breed a smaller horse. Oldest horse with Old Billy. That's a solid name for a horse. 62 years old for a horse as well. This is the most interesting part of the game. A miniature black mare measuring 4.7 hands. Yeah, it's a measuring system, isn't it? I did just talk about my time metric system, and now we're talking about it measuring in hands. Sure. Oh, horses are measured in hands. Maybe I'm reading these in the wrong order. Fair enough. Yeah, most of these are just like, this is this horse, and it's this type of horse. And the ones with the actual... I forget what those things are called. The things you stick on horse to show they have won. They actually have kind of interesting information that I wasn't aware of, so fair enough. I've learned a thing. We have gotten the trophy. And we have completed Valentine's Day as per tradition. I don't think this has credits. Oh, it does. Wow. But all in all, it certainly was a game. I should have done my end speech here, I suppose. But I didn't, and now we have to sit awkwardly in silence instead. But yeah, I mentioned earlier, I'm surprised the music isn't more annoying, because it is just 2 songs, one of which it has a ghost in it, but it is sort of amazing that it's not that bothersome. It is kind of like just easygoing vibes, I suppose, but it's tricky to find a balance in that when you have to listen to the same song for like a full hour. And There was a little bit of difference here and there, I suppose, because occasionally we'd go back to the sort of the title screen main theme thing. But even then, that's sort of incredible. But then the main theme song, not this one, but the other one, it is incredible. Like, I I was so surprised when I heard that the first time, and it's sort of amazing that, yeah, it's just an unusual experience overall. I wouldn't fully recommend going out of your way to buy this. It's probably a 20-year-old game at this point, and I assume priceless because it's basically the perfect video game. It has hedgehogs in it, so there's something to be said about that. But it's it's there. I'm a bit confused why the credits appear in that section of the screen, but sure, that's fair enough. There's a surprising amount of people that have, in some way, shape, or form, worked on this game, but I suppose they might have just done the credits for whoever was in Blitz Entertainment at the time, or any of the other companies that showed up. Team Banshee, Team Hornet, and Blitz Games. Yeah, maybe they didn't do everyone at Blitz Games then, but yeah, fair enough. Wait, but I thought Blitz Games were the developer, but I guess it wasn't. Oh my god. Wait, did it restart the credits, or is this just even more people? I am also, like, the horse itself is kind of surprising, I suppose. It's an alright looking horse, you know? It's an alright looking horse, and I don't know, I've only really played platformers on the Game Boy Advance, I guess. Yeah, that might actually be true, and there is stuff like those Mario RPG games. I'm going into a ramble that's not relevant to any of this. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed it. That was the credits. That was the end of the game. Happy Valentine's Day. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.